Welcome to Sunday Catch-Up. My name is Adam Holmes. I'm a songwriter and a coach. I've been self-employed for the last 13 years. I have nearly 500,000 followers. I've released 8 studio albums and produced dozens of albums for other people. My music is featured extensively on BBC, in Hallmark movies, in the likes of Outlander. I've shared bills with the likes of Van Morrison, John Prine and Sturgill Simpson, to name a few, and I'm a dad to a 6-year-old girl. Those are her unicorn drawings in the background. Every Sunday, I take a little bit of time to unpack something from my journey that I'm thinking about, maybe something that I've been struggling with, and I talk about how I'm overcoming it. And my genuine hope is that it can be of some value to good people like yourself. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. It's been an interesting week. I managed to catch what I thought was a really bad dose of food poisoning. I'm now starting to wonder if it was actually norovirus, but I was down. I was gone. I had a week. And I just thought, isn't it interesting in those times how much stuff comes to the surface, right? It's almost like the volume on all of the little quiet thoughts that we have about life when we're lying in a room and there's nothing to do but just lie and try and not be ill. It's really like the volume on the mind is just cranked right up. And in many ways, for me, across the last week, it was a really, really good opportunity to just look at the contents of my life, bring it all up, have a look at what's working and look at what isn't. And I don't know about you, but I have a hard time taking a moment to kind of actually rest. So in some ways, it was actually kind of amazing to have time to reflect. On the unfortunate side, I was going to Ireland. I had some trips set up over there, some gigs, and I was really looking forward to that. And I had to let some people down, and that never ever feels good. But I mean, I couldn't move. So, you know, if it had been a cold, if it had been a flu, something like that, I could have pushed through. But no one would have wanted to see me perform in the state I was in across last week. So that's where we're at. It's been a crazy old week, and I'm just feeling so happy to not be sick, to not feel sick. There's this amazing quote that says, "Man has many wishes until he's sick, and then he has but one." Boy, is that true. When you're really not well, it's like you just think like, oh, please God, make me better again, and you know, my simple life is enough, and just the simple kind of almost going for a walk, or just being able to go to the gym, or just eat a meal, just the simple stuff. That's the most important stuff, and to have it taken away really puts that into perspective. So I'm feeling super appreciative to be back in decent health and be here with you for the Sunday catch-up. So for the week ahead, it's looking like just catching up on stuff, because I wasn't able to coach anyone the whole time that I was down. So I'm really looking forward to checking in with a few of my coaching clients today. That's the plan. Most of my coaching clients are actually in America, so I generally have to wait until a little bit later in the day. So my days usually look like getting up, heading out, kind of getting to the gym, see some friends, have a coffee, do some admin, book some gigs, and then day 2 starts when America wakes up. So I'm looking forward to catching up with my coaching clients over there. And I hope you guys have had a great week too. Inside of my club, if you guys don't know, by the way, I have a club. There's 600 of us in there, and we coach on creative confidence. We live a more creatively fulfilling life. There's hours and hours of musical content. It's an easy way for you to support me as an independent artist. It only costs $1.50 to join. If you want to come and join us, click the link in the top comment. That said, there's a new tier in the club, the prosperity tier, where I'm talking about what money actually is and why it's a positive thing. I think it gets a lot of negative energy cast towards it, and I think a lot of the reasons are valid, misguided but valid. I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of what money actually is, and I found myself about 5-6 years ago in a lot of debt, and just in a very, very bad situation financially. And so I managed to really turn that around, learn about how to make money, how to manage money, how to invest money, learning how to be friends with money. And I've got a section of the club now where I'm talking about that and exploring that and really enjoying it, really enjoying a more holistic approach to what money actually is. And I want to talk to you guys today about value. What is your value? And this is something that I've been thinking a lot about with regards to the prosperity section of the club, because anything that you are financially rewarded for in life comes from an aspect of your value. And I think many people think that they're being paid in life for their time, where actually they are being paid for their value. But what is value? And I thought it could be fun to unpack the topic of value a little bit. So, back in 2020, as a musician, as a touring musician, my world, I'm sure your world too, was turned upside down by the COVID pandemic. My world was flipped upside down. Gigs gone, everything gone, touring gone. It was like nothing, you know? My whole existence as I knew it, gone. Every stream of income, gone. And whilst all of us on some level experienced the loss of most of our life, I can't think of an example of an industry which was worse affected in Scotland. I think it was different all over the world, but when the whole world shut, I was kind of forced to really think, well, what is my value? What actually is my value? Because I'd never really thought about value before. I just sort of thought about, I want to do gigs, I enjoy doing gigs, and people seem to like it, and I'd never really kind of thought about it. I never thought about money. I never had to. I just knew what I wanted to do, and I went out into the world and did it, and the money came. But then when all these industries were shut down, I had to think, well, what is my value? What actually is my value? And for me, that thought experiment was actually a really, really incredible thing for me, because it helped me to understand what value actually is. So, what is value? Value is your capacity to help others. Courage is the gateway to value. The first step of any journey takes courage, right? Think about driving a car for someone, right? That's useful, but you'd have to do a driving test. You'd be nervous about that. Think about cutting hair. You'd have to acquire those skill sets. You'd have to put yourself out there. You'd have to let people know that you're doing that job. Think about gardening, same thing. Think about plumbing, same thing. Think about babysitting, same thing. Think about singing, same thing. So anything that we can do in the world which is useful to other humans is valuable. And when we do something that's useful to other humans, we have to use courage to get started for that initial push, right? So we must collect a skill, and some skills come easy, right? For me, playing guitar is a skill that came easily. Now, just to make a little point, it didn't come easily because I'm naturally talented. It came easily because I enjoy it. Similarly, boxing is coming pretty easy to me because I enjoy it. I enjoy going. It isn't hard for me to make myself go. So this is a misunderstanding, I think, about what talent is. I think our real natural talent is almost more of a propensity towards a certain kind of interest than a God-given natural ability. Obviously, that's not always true. If you're an incredible archer or an incredible swimmer, there is a physicality to that. But I think often it's interest, really. You follow your interest. So some skills come easy. Some skills are harder work. For me, accountancy is a skill that it doesn't really matter how much of it I do. I'm so uninterested in it, in doing numbers, that I'm probably never going to, well, not probably, I'm never going to get good at it, and I'm okay with that. I'm very conscious with my words. I would never say I can't get good at that out of a space of negative self-belief. I just mean that's not something I'm going to invest my time into. So some skills come easy, some skills are harder work to get there. We must use the skill that improves the life of others the most in order to be the most valuable, right? There's an old saying, if a tree falls in the woods, does anyone hear it? The same is true for value. We must learn what our value is and offer it. So coming back to 2020, as I couldn't do concerts, I decided to brainstorm ways that I could offer value. And I thought, 1, I could help songwriters finish their songs. 2, I could write personalized songs. 3, I could record online concerts. That was 3 things I thought, well, I can do that, right? And whilst promoting these services, I began to study a thing called copy, advertising copy. Copy or advertising copy is actually just a tool we can use to understand our own value. I see this all the time with my social media coaching clients. The minute that they can use copy to understand what it is that they offer, things blow up, their video blows up, it just clicks. It's magical. The easiest way to describe what copy is copy is the destination rather than the aeroplane, right? So to give some examples, an aeroplane would be hire me to write a song. You're selling the trip. Hire me to write your song. You're selling the trip. Destination. Give your partner something special this Valentine's Day. In the example of my online concerts, I could have said, get your online tickets, right? That's an airplane thought. Destination thought. Would you like something to look forward to? It's a completely different understanding. One of my coaching clients right now, who is working on his social media, has discovered that what's special about him, what it is that he offers, is a peaceful place on the internet for people to relax and just listen to his songs, right? And once he got that, once he understood that, it just clicked for him and the videos have started to grow and his following started to grow, right? So we can use copy rather than talking about the specific mechanics of a quote-unquote product, right, of our value. We can use copy to help people understand what the true value is. So when you think about the reason why you go to a concert, you probably don't think, I really want to buy tickets for a concert, right? You probably think, I want something to look forward to. I want to have a night out with my friends. I want to go to this cool venue. I really love this music. This music makes me feel all these things, right? But 9 times out of 10, when people are advertising stuff that they are offering in their life, the way they advertise it is totally wrong. The amount of musicians that I'll see on social media that I'll jump on, hey, come to my gig, I'm doing a gig here and I'm really excited about it. It's like, no one cares. It doesn't matter. If you came on and said, how would you like to sit with your friends in a beautiful venue in a church and relax just for a little hour in a little quiet hub in the middle of the city. Does that sound good? If you want tickets, come along. There's a saying in advertising copy which is enter the conversation in the client's mind. I'm giving you guys a little bit of context on copy because it's going to help us understand how we can uncover our own value. When we ask what our own value is, really what we're asking is, how is it useful? Opportunity follows usefulness. This is the cool thing. Once you become really useful in any particular area and you then offer that usefulness, opportunity comes to you. A very important distinction is the exertion of effort must be rewarded on some level. To give your value solely for free is to deny the receiver their dignity. There's studies that show that people who pay for therapy get more out of the therapy than people who don't. Equal balance of give and take. Too much given, you'll feel anger. Too much taken, you'll feel shame. We want an equal balance of give and take in the world with our value, with our usefulness. There are seasons of give and take, however. You probably have to give 10 years to truly receive. Strong roots take years. A good question regarding give and take is simply, have I been at it 10 years? Think about it a little bit like building a bank, right? And there's percentages, and these percentages are how close to 10 years are you. So to give you some examples, I've written down some areas of my life that are areas in which I'm looking to improve. Now, just to be really clear, 100% never means I'm completely done and I have no improvement left at all. It just means I'm at 10 years. So once you're at 10 years in terms of the value that you give, it's worth making sure that the balance of receiving and giving is in check. If you've done 10 years of work and you're not receiving, there's an issue there, and the issue is probably psychological because you probably have the skill set to be receiving. But if you're not, there's a block for you somewhere. There's a block for you that believes that you shouldn't be receiving, which is mindset work that we can do in the club if you want to. Okay, so for me, guitar and songwriting and singing, I'm at 100%. I've done well over 10 years and I feel confident saying that. Performing, I'm going to say 70% of the way towards my 10 years because of COVID. I wasn't really performing during that time. And also when I was younger, I did a lot of performing, but I wasn't really in it. I feel like just in the last sort of 4 years, I've really kind of been working on it, working hard on it. So I feel like performing about 70%, although I've been doing it a long, long time, I really feel like I'm learning, investing, money management, etc. I'd say I'm 50%. I've done a good 5 years of solid study and working and thinking and living in these thoughts, right? So I'm going to say 50%. Parenting, 60%. Rosa's 6 years old. My commitment to her is never going to end. But I do feel like 60% is where I feel like I'm at. I've done 6 years. I feel like I'm 60% good at parenting, pretty much. Fighting, boxing, 15%. I've done only 1.5 years of really focused, getting better at that, so 15%. Muscle building, 40%. Mind mastery, I'm going to say 100% because I've been meditating, going to therapy, I've done EMDR, I've had diagnoses, I've been through all these processes to really understand who I am, how my mind works, its limitations, what that means for my life. I've been journaling for years and years. I've been songwriting for years and years. So mind mastery, I feel like I am a master of my own mind. I'm able to manage my own mind. So I'm going to say 100% there. I'm not saying, when I say 100%, a reminder, I'm not saying I can't improve. I'm just saying I've done my 10 years. Media, 60%. I think about the last 6 years. Style, clothing-wise, I feel really authentically like myself in my style. I'm going to say 70%. I started to think about what I was wearing about 7 years ago. Communication, I'm going to say 50%. I think I only really started doing this side of things and communicating about 5 years ago. So I'm going to give that 50%. Now, the point of these percentages is that if you take these areas in your life that are valuable, where you are valuable, the point of these percentages is you can then figure out who you can help and how you can help them, right? And obviously what you probably want to do is start helping people with the percentages that are the highest, right? So for me, where it makes the most sense for me to help people in the world is guitar and singing and songwriting. Mind mastery, I think another place it probably makes sense, right? And then going down percentage-wise, I could do performing, I could do style, I could do money mindset, I could do parenting. Fighting, because it's such a low percentage, it's only 15%. Funny enough, I teach Rosa, right? Rosa is my daughter who's 6, right? I teach her about fighting because I'm equipped to, because I have 15% and she has 0%, right? You don't need to be like 100% for every single thing to help someone. And this is the cool thing about your value in your life is it doesn't matter. It's not about you. It's about the other person. It's about how you could maybe help them out. So if you have any percentage higher, you can help them, just even a little bit. But obviously start in the area you're 100% in. Like, for example, my plumbing knowledge is 0%. My horse riding knowledge is 0%. Someone with 4% horse riding experience is an expert to me. They can tell me loads. Same with plumbing. So someone at 30% can teach me about these things. You see what I mean? It's about understanding where you are on the percentage basis and who you can help. And that's really what value is. Just to really, really simplify it, value is just how you can help others. It really is that simple. On the copy side, if you'd be interested to learn more about how to write copy and what advertising copy can do for your life, because it isn't just in a business, it's like how you communicate with the world, how you communicate with people, understanding things from other people's perspectives. That's one of the things that we're going to be covering in the prosperity section of the club. So come and join us in there. Guys, I'm going to leave you with 5 questions. These 5 questions I'm hoping can help you uncover your value. Number 1, what's automatic for you? What do I not even think of as a skill set? Really think about that. Really think about your own value. Give yourself permission to think about your own value. It's not something that we're conditioned to think is okay to do. But I guarantee you there's magic inside of you in terms of just some of even the normal things that you do. I think people always say when they come to my house is, wow, what a peaceful space, right? I've always had that. I don't know why. And at every single different house I've lived in. And it's just something about the kind of minimalism. If I was thinking about an area that I just naturally do things, that could be one of them. So give yourself permission to really, really just think about what is it that you don't even think of as a skill set. Number 2, what do people often say about you? Tying in the last example, as I say, people often say about me that my house feels very calm, that I feel like a safe person to be around. So those are valuable, right? Those are skill sets. Those are things that can appear like magic to other people. What are those for you? What do people often say about you? Because that evidence leaves clues as to what your value could be. Number 3, what could you charge $1,000 to do? Now, I can feel you getting amped up about this psychologically and thinking, oh my God, $1,000, that's crazy. But listen, right, if you had a gun to your head and I said to you, if you had to take a guess on the one thing that someone could pay you $1,000 to do, what would it be? What's the answer, right? There will be an answer that pops up in your mind. That's probably what your value is. Number 4, what is your 10-year list? I want you to write out a list of the last 10 years. Be really honest with your percentages. Is it parenting? Is it listening? Is it Excel spreadsheets? Is it plumbing? Is it style? Is it writing? What have you done for 10 years that's already at that 100% mark? You've hit 100% of doing it for 10 years. So many of us take these things for granted that we just do naturally. Maybe you have developed a great sense of style. I'm not saying it's like, it doesn't have to be suits and ball gowns, and it's just like you, it feels like you, something like that. That could be a 10-year process. Being married for 10 years, maybe you could help someone who is early on in their marriage, right? It's just about helping people. What is your 10-year list? What things have you done for 10 years? Number 5, are you treating yourself like $1 million racehorse? Once you uncover what your true value is, you'll understand that there's no reason why you shouldn't treat yourself like the richest person in the world, because you have all this latent potential within yourself. This is the beautiful thing about life. You can spend time to uncover all of this amazing value that's inside of you and offer it to the world. If you treat yourself like $1 million racehorse, you've got a chance at winning $1 million race. But it comes back to that understanding, that knowing of who you are at the core, and the good that's inside of you, and the value that's inside of you, and the simple fact that you have permission. You're allowed to think about what's amazing about you. You're allowed to think about what's incredible about you. Think about this for a minute. You were born. There was so many chances for you not to be here, and you are here. You're here with us. And so, of course, you have tremendous value inside of you. And it's your responsibility to uncover it and offer it and share it. I hope you guys have a great week ahead. Come and join the club. Click the link in the top comment. To all my homies in the club, send a big love. Have a great week, guys. Cheers.